Calm down. Yeah. Let's get this party started. Good morning, millionaires.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time because we're going to bring the millionaire.
Here we go.
Thank you. Affirmation so passionately. That was really, really beautiful. Thank you so much for your passion, for being a support for the team, for stepping up this morning.
Appreciate it.
All of you. Yes.
All right, let's get it.
All participants are muted. Entry tones are off. Exit tones are on.
All right. So what we talking about this morning? Yeah, good morning. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning. Let's get it. So what we're talking about this morning is point of view. All this week we've been talking about perspective, right? Like if you notice on Monday, we were breaking down, all these Viktor Frankl quotes that allow you to have, a different sort of perspective on life, And then yesterday we were talking about how to look at yourself with a different sort of perspective. We were talking about like how you may be self-sabotaging yourself. Yeah, good morning, Rita B. What's up, Ty? Yeah, share this with somebody. We gonna still we gonna Chopper. We still about to do this 15 minutes of fire thing. It's about to be 15 minutes. Watch this. I'm about to light this joint up. And Shalonda, I'm glad to see you this morning. Let's get it, Corey. Okay, so what we about to do, appreciate that, Molly Mall. Appreciate that. All right, YouTube gang checking in. What up, Anna? Septima is in here. Okay then. Young Coco's in the house. All right, both the Chanels is in here. I love it. Let's go. All right, so the main thing that I want everybody to see is that when you're making a presentation, you ain't the only one with expectations. There's a whole vibe going on, y'all, where they have expectations just like you do. And what I want you to do is share this with somebody because there are some expectations that a lot of people don't even realize are going on. There are some rules that are going on. There's like a whole point of view that's happening. And so I'm going to give you these 11 rules of prospect perspective. Because a lot of times when we're like, well, man, Haziq, I understand you say do research before you talk to them. I understand you say in a revenue acceleration cycle, the whole purpose of setting an appointment is to give yourself a chance to research. But where do I start with that? So I'm going to give you 11 of these. I want you to use them. I want you to write them down in your power book. And I guarantee you increase from this. So if you're ready and you understand that these are the rules that are at the core of your ability to understand and deal with the prospect, then you are ready. Here's the first one, y'all. I want you to make up and rehearse questions. Make up and rehearse questions. Now, we have whole classes on this in the Kaizen Academy. Last week, we gave you a 3-step process for asking better questions to make it so that the question closes them, right? But that's what I want you to do first. I want you to make up and rehearse better questions that help you to differentiate yourself, that help you to gain some of this important information so you know what problem you're solving. The second thing is I want you to plan the conversation. That's number 2. Plan the conversation a little bit, right? Put yourself in a space where, hold up, y'all. Put yourself in a space where you are able to quickly see that you're including issues that concern the prospect's business. That's number 2, right?
Entry and exit tones are on.
Hold up.
Entry and exit tones are off.
There we go. Plan the conversation out. So that you're including, if you notice in that 3-step process, the first step was you say a comment that they can't refute. The second part of the process was that you make a statement that reflects your experience and establishes some credibility, right? And then the third part of it was you ask this open-ended question that includes the issues you just now brought to bear. So that's what we're talking about when we say number 2 is plan the conversation. Here's number 3. Do pre-call research. I mean, what do you know about the prospects industry? You know, if you're selling something that's B2B, like a lot of y'all are, right? What do you know about their industry that can make them feel more in good hands with Allstate? You know, you want to do some pre-call research. Here's number 4. Instead of just doing pre-call research about their industry, also do pre-call research about their business. What do they do to serve the industry that they're in? Here's number 6. Do pre-call research about the prospect's competition. That's actually number 5. Do pre-call research about the prospect's competition. What do you know about their competition? Who are they up against? Who are you up against? You know what I mean? But right now we're focused on who they're up against. Who are the people that are eating their lunch? Do you know that? Do you know why their lunch is getting eaten? Do you know why they're getting dominated? This is all stuff that can go into your pre-call research. Number 6 is do pre-call research about the prospects, about the prospects as a person. This is where you start looking at their social media page. The prospect as a person. This is when you start looking at their LinkedIn, their Instagram. Do you know how much more impressive it is if you already know they have children? Do you know how much more impressive it is if you already know they have pets? If you already know that they hang out with their manager, or that they hang out with their friends, or that they eat this kind of food? You know how valuable that is when you're kicking it with them, looking to have a meaningful conversation? Is this making sense to somebody out there? Number seven, if you want to really take it to the black belt level, what if you subscribe and read their industry's trade publications so you know what's coming out? So you're on the bleeding edge of what's being released in their world. What if you, by reading that publication, are able to present them with information they didn't know was going on in their industry? See, a lot of this information becomes 10 times as more powerful if you've decided on a niche. Does that make sense? Once you begin to pick out a niche that you're going to serve, a lot of this information is 10x more powerful, because now instead of you having to read the trade publications of 15 different industries, you get to focus and draw down on one particular world that you're going to be dominant in. And now all of a sudden your dominance creates magnetism. Now they're just coming to you because you're the one to come to. Does that make sense? Here's number 8. What if you insisted on a tour of their office? What if you insisted on a tour of their office, or in some cases their plant, or in some cases their school? You know, like truck drivers go to truck driving school, and especially pre-COVID. You know, they're just, you know, now we're living in a whole different world. But yeah, that's a great way to put it. What we're doing is upscaling. We're scaling up those personnel files. That's a great way to put it, Queen. All right. Here's number 9, right? Because when you're doing that tour, this gives you a chance. Somebody else said SWOT analysis. I just saw somebody. Yeah, tell them, Jerry. Somebody else talked about SWOT analysis. Exactly, Isioma. Somebody else was talking about a SWOT analysis. Check it out. When you're doing that tour, think about it. You want to ask questions about trouble areas. You want to ask questions about strengths that they have, competitive advantages. What are their goals, right? Write all of that in your notes. That's the kind of stuff that you want to be collecting. Here's number 9 for you out of the 11. Know how to solve problems. The prospects that you're dealing with, I don't care if you're in financial services or if you're in landscaping. right? The prospects that you're dealing with ain't interested in a bunch of boring facts. You hear what I'm saying to you? What they're interested in is how they can solve their problems. So what you want to do is sell based on similar situations. This is why we teach you the art of story selling. This is why we teach you the art of, and we teach you these adages like facts just tell, but stories sell. You got to know how to solve problems. And one of the most amazing ways to prove you know how to solve problems is to tell a story where you solved a problem that's similar to the one you know they're having. I want to encourage everybody to go back and watch that training that we did. It's there on the YouTube channel, Millionaire Minded TV. Go back and watch that training we did last Tuesday on the 3 steps to asking a question that every entrepreneur should know. Because when you make a statement that is designed around this idea that they cannot refute it. Like if I come to you and I say, man, running a business is hard, right? You're like, man, he preaching. And then I say, in my professional experience, I've noticed that, let's say I'm picking out truck drivers, right? I want to explain to you what I mean by number 9. I want to explain to you what I mean by storytelling, story selling, right? And then ending with a question. This is how you set the question up. If I start that bad boy off and I'm like, oh man, you know, truck driving is a hard industry to master, right? You know, they're like, man, he preaching. And then I'm like, in my experience, if a truck driver is not working towards owning his own truck, then it's almost like you're sharecropping. He's like, what? And then I'm like, man, ever since they came out with these electronic log devices, you can't even cheat on your time. You can't split shifts. You know, it's like Big Brother's constantly watching you. You know, and what I've noticed is that if you aren't working on your business credit, it's almost no way to work your way out to buying your own truck, much less a fleet of trucks. They're like, wow, this dude really knows his stuff. He mentioned it ELDs. He mentioned it, right? Then I drop the hammer, right? Then I drop the hammer. Then I say, so what are you doing to set yourself up so that you can have your own truck or your own fleet of trucks as you begin to evolve in the industry? Now I put it all on them, but I've already made it clear that I know how to solve the problem, right? And I'm selling based on similar situations that they can relate to. Is that making sense to somebody out there? If you want to get much deeper into that, make sure you watch that training we did last Tuesday on the 3 stages to asking a question every entrepreneur should know. And you can find that on Millionaire Minded TV on YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Millionaire Minded TV, and you're going to see. It's 3 steps. And then by the time you get to that question, they're like, buy from you? By the time you get to that 3rd one, you're like, what are you doing to set yourself up for success? It's like, oh, I know, buy from you. How do I get started? Here's number 10, y'all. Here's number 10. This is important. I was talking to, my sister friend yesterday, and I was asking them, like, do they realize the perfect insulation against haters is testimonies? Millionaires. I was talking to another teammate of mine yesterday, and I was telling him, do you know the perfect way to prepare for a white label partner program? Because that's what our company happens to do. We have a white label partner program that allows somebody to just put their own brand name on it, set their own prices. I was like, you know the perfect way? Because it's like, yeah, I want to start off as an affiliate so I can experience things, so I can learn how everything works, so I can get an education. I was like, you're leaving one thing out. And this is number 10, y'all. You want to gather testimonies. You want to gather testimonies as soon as possible. And I gave one lady yesterday a website to a company that allows you to leave the testimonies, you know, in written form, in video form, in audio form. But check this out. What you want to be doing right now is gathering testimonies that lay it out for people you know how to solve their particular problem. If they're having a problem with the fact that, you know, the price is blowing their mind, or the amount of time they think it'll take is blowing their mind, or you know, the productivity and efficiency is the part that's making them kind of slow down purchasing. You need a testimony that knocks that objection down. Nah, every time, listen, when I was going to work with, this is how you want your testimony to read. Before and after. Before, then experience, then after, right? Oh man, when I first met Crystal, my children were wilding, right? And I have to admit, I tried other tutoring systems before, but something about Crystal Clear Tutoring is that she has such a hands-on approach. I don't know if that's Crystal's company name, by the way. I just call her Crystal Clear. But my point is, you know, before I met her, my kids were like Bebe's children. Am I dating myself? Y'all know about Robin Williams, Bebe's kids. All right. I had a bunch of crack. You'd have thought they were crack babies. But after I met her, she just has this calming approach that instantly struck me as something different from any other tutoring system I'd ever used. And now my children are all on honor roll. Well, see, that knocks out somebody's objection about how I've tried so many of these before. What I want you to do is earn testimonies from similar industries. Earn testimonies from similar working conditions. This changes everything. Does that make sense? Hey, appreciate that, Chris. Y'all see that? She be on it. Y'all see that? She be on it. There's the training. She just now put it in the Facebook timeline, but it's on YouTube as well. Appreciate that, Queen. Number 11 is relax and have fun, y'all. Number 11 is relax and have fun. That's the bottom line of all of this. If you ain't having fun, you're doing it wrong, y'all. Right? Get away from the pitch and get into a real conversation. I'm just trying to give you some rules to help you have a better, meaningful conversation. Now, if you want to practice on your own perspective, here's how you have your own self-perspective workshop. 1, ask yourself, how would I feel if I were listening? Y'all know that's how I narrowed this thing down to 15 minutes of fire. You know, I know we do a 5-minute intro, so I only got about 3 minutes left. I know. Then we're going to go get to our affirmations. Here's the second one. Ask yourself, how would I feel if I were offered this particular deal? Ask your prospect, hey, can you write me a wish list about this product or service? What are the things you wish that I was offering you? What are the wishes you have regarding this offer? What are some things that are missing? If you had a genie in a bottle and you could just rub that joint and then the genie, you know what I mean, you ask anything you want, what would you want regarding this particular product or service? This is how you have a self-practice workshop. You hear what I'm saying to you? Ask your prospect about their last major purchase. How does she decide? What was missing? What did she expect that never showed up? What went wrong? What was the best part? Would she do it again? If you want to be dominant in your industry, this is the kind of stuff nobody else is doing. Do you get me? What made her decide? What made her decide? If you want to dominate like you say you do, this is the stuff that helps you. And the last thing I got for you is, you know, if you ask them for a list of questions or concerns before you even meet with them. Can you imagine? Before you sit down and meet with them, before you even, if you have them think out, what do you know that's a closing technique? Just asking them for a list of their concerns. They're like, already this person's different from anybody else I've ever discussed my credit with, or that I've ever discussed, you know, getting a trust from, or that I've ever discussed funding and lending with, or that I've ever discussed personal credit with, or that I've ever discussed scaling my business with. They're already way different from everybody else. Am I making sense? All right, y'all. Hope that was worth the wait. All right. It's affirmation time. Call in right now. Call in right now. Let's get it. Call in right now. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's affirmation time. Repeat after me, millionaires. You got to say it like you mean it. You got to take your cool off. The powerful thing about affirmations is you ain't even got to believe them for them to come true. God gave us power of life and death in the tongue. I ain't trying to get all preachy on you. But there's a miracle right under your nose. It's called your mouth. All right, repeat after me. The two most powerful words in the whole English language, even though they're the shortest words in the whole English language. Ain't that something? It starts with I am. Repeat after me. Let's go. I am.